She was 3 years old when she was abducted. Now she's 45 and meeting the family she never knew. It's the all-American nightmare, our love affair with horror films. And a cheerful lullaby for one of the victims of Pan Am Flight 103. This is Hard Copy, March 19th, 1990.
Hi, I'm Alan Frio.
And I'm Terry Murphy. When Judy Romansky got home, there was a message on her answering machine. The message said, "This is your mother. Please call me." Now that doesn't sound unusual, does it? Except for one thing. Judith Romansky hadn't heard her mother's voice in 42 years. Not since she was reportedly kidnapped at the age of 3. A quiet neighborhood, a suburb of Baltimore, a row of neat houses. Inside number 617, an extraordinary story that began 42 years ago. A story straight out of a Charles Dickens novel. Came to an end 2 weeks ago. Meet Judy Romansky, 2 grown sons, a husband that works for the phone company, 45 years old. One day about 3 years ago, she needed her birth certificate, so she called her mother. Her mother told her she was adopted. Judy was shocked. She asked for her adoption papers.
No adoption papers. Then she says ever so coldly, that you were not adopted, that you were given away.
Judy didn't understand what was happening, but she felt like a heavy weight was lifted off her chest. She says the woman she thought was her mother had been very cruel to her all her life, but she had loved the man she thought was her father.
I sat him down by himself and I said, "Dad, please tell me that you're my father. If you are, well, it'll be our secret." Because I really believed he was my father. I acted like him. I thought I looked like him. I loved him. And he told me, "No, I'm not your father. I never knew your mother or your father. I don't know where you came from." I said, "Fine. Okay." I walked out of their house to never to walk back in again.
Judy was learning the shocking truth. Because 42 years ago, when Judy was only 3, she says the people she thought were her parents had kidnapped her from her real family. She says she was raised all those years by the kidnappers.
They were keeping me from my mother and father with 5 children that they couldn't take care of. Back in the 40s, things were tough, times were bad, jobs were scarce, and this man loves children. So it's his idea, "Well, we'll keep Judy for you."
But once the couple got Judy away from her mother, they pulled up stakes and disappeared. Judy's real mother claims she searched frantically, but she never brought in the police.
I was abducted. I went to child find. Well, they wanted to know names and addresses and phone numbers, and they were going to prosecute immediately. I said, "No, I can't do that. These people are old. I loved him. I can't hurt them, and I will not hurt them. I will never forgive them, and I'm very bitter, but I will not hurt them."
Judy learned from her step-parents' relatives that her real last name was Randolph and that she was born in Detroit. After getting her real birth certificate, she saw her parents were from Cookeville, Tennessee. She sent letters to the 75 Randolphs in the Cookeville phone book.
The letters were out on Saturday morning. Tuesday night, I had a phone call from Elizabeth Fulton Randolph, my mother, whom I thought was dead all these years.
My phone number is 4733. And Judy, this is Elizabeth Fulton Randolph calling. Would you please call me?
My knees started shaking. And I sort of hyperventilated. I couldn't talk. And I hollered, "Bill, Bill," and he come running in. And I said, "Don't touch the machine. Don't nobody touch the machine." And he calmed me down, said, "Just calm down." And we couldn't find a pencil. There's pencils everywhere. Couldn't find a pencil. Running around. Got a pencil. Rewound it ever so gently and played it back. There it was, my mother. So it took me about 20, 25 minutes to get the nerve up to make the call. And I did. I was real calm, as a matter of fact, and I said, the phone rang, and this woman answered and said, "Elizabeth?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "This is Judy." And then she screamed, "Oh my God, my baby, I found you."
2 weeks ago, Judy's mom and her 2 sisters were reunited in her home outside Baltimore. Judy's mother still won't talk about the circumstances which led to Judy's alleged abduction. In fact, she refused to answer any questions. All she'll say is how happy she is to have found her daughter, that hardly a day had passed in 42 years that she didn't think of her.
We didn't get to grow up together, but we were old together. That was great. That's what we're going to do. Judith refuses to bring charges against the couple she says kidnapped her, saying they're too old. What was their reaction to her kindness? They called her recently just to tell her they were cutting her out of their will.
Coming up on our copy, why do we love to be scared out of our wits? The answer will shock you, but you'll like it.
And later on,